Hi, I'm Marco from Performance Hypnotherapy. So how do we create our patterns and how do we change unwanted patterns? Well, Dr. Michael Yapko, the author of Trance Work, the most important handbook on the clinical applications of hypnosis in the world, suggests that all psychotherapy is a process of pattern interrupt and pattern building. So if it were that easy, why don't we all simply do it? Well, one of the reasons is that we require a context for change, a context in which we can interrupt patterns effectively and build new patterns effectively. Clinical hypnosis is one of the best contexts we have available to us, and it is perhaps for that reason that people like Dr. Michael Yapko have spent their lives researching and promoting hypnosis as a must-have in a therapist's toolkit. It is also perhaps one of the reasons that the leading universities in the world have studied hypnosis, and it is now one of the most empirically supported and evidence-based therapy modalities available in the world. So again, do we want to change all our patterns? Are they all bad? Well, obviously not. We have good patterns of behavior. For example, you perhaps have some rituals that you do in the morning before you go to work, which are very valuable to you, whether that's brushing your teeth, having a shower, making a meal, having a coffee, or whatever it is that you do. Hopefully it supports you in getting you going throughout the day. Unfortunately, we also have those negative patterns, and sometimes, and often in fact, they are established very early in our lives. Perhaps we felt intimidated by an adult when we were a child, we felt diminished in that moment, and then we've carried that pattern on into our adult life, getting defensive in the face of intimidation, or perhaps contracting in the face of intimidation. And that really prevents us from stepping out into the world, asserting ourselves and self-determining ourselves in the world and doing what we really want to do. In fact, we often run a process of overestimating the risks that we face and underestimating our resources for handling those risks. And it's not very valuable to keep running that pattern. We require a context to change that pattern, to interrupt it and build a new pattern. And this is where hypnosis is so effective, combined of course with an effective psychotherapy. I'd like to offer you a little story, a metaphor which kind of illustrates that point. This is the story of the echidna and the turtle. One day the echidna was going through the forest, and as soon as it sensed anything around it, it would lock up and shoot up its spikes. Now this was good because the echidna was protected, but the downside was the echidna spent most of its life alone and lonely walking through the forest. Then there was the turtle, and as soon as the turtle would sense any energy around it, it would contract and tuck its head in. Again, this was useful for the turtle because it would keep it safe from danger, but the downside was the turtle spent its life walking through the forest alone. And of course, one day the echidna and the turtle were walking straight at each other. When they sensed each other, the echidna locked up and shot up its spikes, and the turtle contracted and tucked in its head under its shell. This was the classic stalemate in chess, and after some time, they both said to each other, "Are you scared of me?" And they both responded, "Yeah, I kind of am." So the echidna said to the turtle, "Don't be silly, I mean no harm." And the turtle said, "Well, likewise, I'm just trying to protect myself." And so they both decided just to calm their minds, slow down their breathing, and relax and loosen their muscles. And they realized that there really was no risk here. And in fact, they realized, why don't we go through this life together? And they began to walk the forest together, and now they had a friend. And anytime they sensed an energy or potential danger, rather than locking up and shooting up its spikes for the echidna, or tucking itself under its shell for the turtle, they assessed, is this really dangerous? And they said, no, it's just misread the horse. That's fine, let's keep on going, relaxed, calm and focused. Or that's just the ducks, they mean no harm. Let's continue on our journey. Of course, they had the spikes and the shell to tuck under if ever there was danger present, but now they could more effectively assess the risks that were in front of them. The metaphor is really useful because it shows the context required for the echidna and the turtle to change. The context was when they met each other. There was a pattern interrupt, which was the stalemate that they had been experiencing for some time. and then there was a new pattern that they could build when they decided to walk off into life together and more effectively assess the risks that were facing them. Thank you for listening to today's video. I hope you found value in it, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.